Hello again, good evening, welcome to BBC News. The UK Independence Party's only MP, Douglas Carswell, has announced he's quitting. He said he decided to leave because the party had achieved its objective of pulling Britain out of the European Union. And he added that he was going on amicable terms. He'll now represent Clacton as an independent MP, but there are calls for him to face a by-election. Our political correspondent Alex Forsyth reports.
Should we shake hands?
He needs to be relaxed about it.
There's been no love lost between Douglas Carswell and some in UKIP for some time. When he joined the party 2 years ago, it was a big deal.
I'm today leaving the Conservative Party and joining UKIP.
But the relationship with the then leader soon soured. Differences in policies and personalities. And today he quit UKIP, saying its job was done when the country backed Brexit.
We've achieved what UKIP was for. If other people want to carry it on, I wish them all the best.
But you were the party's only MP. By quitting, have you not put the final nail in UKIP's coffin?
I went into UKIP and made the switch in order to get us out of the European Union. Theresa May means Brexit is in safe hands.
No tears from Nigel Farage. The former party leader said Douglas Carswell had jumped before he was pushed and was never truly UKIP. Current leaders who saw him as a cause of division agree.
It really won't make very much difference to us, other than drawing a line under something which has really caused nothing but sort of heartache for about a year, more than a year. Douglas was never that comfortable in the party, and so I think that really he will go on his merry way.
Douglas Carswell is duly elected as a Member of Parliament for the said constituency. Thank you.
Last time he changed allegiances, the Clacton MP made big play of asking voters for approval, but not this time.
If I was switching parties, if I was going from UKIP to the Conservatives, then absolutely I would feel honour bound to call a by-election.
But the voters voted for a UKIP MP and now they're getting an independent MP with no choice.
When I was a Conservative and I switched to UKIP, I triggered a by-election. I think I was the first Member of Parliament in, 26 years to insist upon doing that. But I'm not changing parties, I'm not switching sides.
So what do people in his constituency think of his decision?
Bit of a disgrace, really. UKIP, he was doing well for UKIP.
That's down to him at the end of the day. If he wants to do that, can't really do a lot about it, can we?
Mr Carswell hasn't ruled out returning to the Tories, but for now he's an independent who's once again raised the question of UKIP's relevance.
Alex Forsyth reporting. Well, we're joined via webcam now by Jeff Bray, who's a UKIP councillor in Douglas Carswell's Clacton constituency. Councillor Bray, thanks for being with us on BBC News. Mr Carswell says he's leaving on amicable terms. Are you feeling amicable towards him tonight?
Oh, I think, yes, to a degree, I certainly am. I think Douglas Carswell's a good man. He's certainly his own man. I have no particular hard feelings.
What then do you make of his decision to go? Because I mean, effectively, he seems to be saying UKIP has succeeded in its objective. We had the referendum, we are leaving the European Union. The implication is actually there's nothing left for it to do.
Well, I understand the implication. Obviously, I think he's completely wrong in that. If Douglas feels the need to move on and do something different, I wish him well with that. But UKIP will go on. There's more to do.
What, such as?
Well, first of all, we need to keep the government honest. Let's be honest, we haven't triggered Article 50 yet. Even when we do, it's necessary for this country to get the best deal it possibly can from the EU.
Sure, but you'll have heard, sorry to interrupt, but you'll have heard him say when he was interviewed earlier that he thinks you can trust Theresa May to do that. So again, you know, that you're not needed there to keep the pressure on. There are enough Eurosceptic Conservatives around to do that job.
Sean, I'm not sure everybody in the country trusts Theresa May perhaps as much as Douglas Carswell does. That remains to be seen. But I still think we certainly have a big role to play in Brexit and in other things as well. There are many things that UKIP does, not least we're new in the way that we do politics. We tend to do politics in a much more honest, open and independent fashion than other parties do. And I'm not sure the other parties really get that yet.
Honest, open, independent. Is that why you think Douglas Carswell didn't really belong?
I think Douglas perhaps struggled with the fact that he spent many years as a Conservative and he understood the Conservative way of doing things, the whip, effectively being told what to think and what to do. And I think perhaps he struggled with the concept of not having that anymore. He had to think and do for himself. And perhaps he struggled with that. I don't know.
What do you think the prospects are if he said he's going to stay? There isn't going to be a by-election, and I know a lot of your colleagues think he should resign and have a by-election. He says, well, he's not changing parties, he's just going to sit as an independent. Presumably he'll say his outlook will remain the same. But notwithstanding that, what do you think his prospects are of holding the seat at the general election? Because a lot of people were surprised that he held it when he switched parties. They said, well, it's a Tory seat, he'll stay Tory. He proved that was wrong. I wonder, though, if it's actually more of a Carswell seat than either a UKIP or a Tory seat these days.
I'm not sure that's true. I think, and he probably knows himself, that he'll probably struggle to hold this seat here in Clacton now. He's probably lost a good deal of Conservative support by moving to UKIP and a good deal of UKIP support by moving to Conservative. I don't think this is a Douglas Carswell seat. I think it's far more complex than that. I don't think it's a Conservative seat either, and we'll be doing our best to prove that that's the case. So ultimately, we will be challenging for it. As for whether he should hold a by-election, I think Douglas set the standard himself. He said that in such circumstances, a by-election should always be called. So I think it's difficult for him not to call one this time, having made the play that he did previously. But I do accept that having moved to independent, he can arguably still fight for the things he promised to. Well, the jury's out, and we'll see whether he actually does.
Farewell dinner for him?
Sorry?
Will you be having a farewell dinner for him?
Probably not.
Jeff Bray, councillor in Douglas Carswell's Clacton constituency, I should say UKIP councillor. Thanks very much for being with us this evening.
Thank you.
And we're going to find out